Tinder isn't a dating app, it's an engineering marvel. With over 75 million users swiping billions of times a day, how does it match people quickly and accurately? The answer lies in the groundbreaking technique called geosharding. At the heart of Tinder's system is this architecture, designed to handle data for millions of users. Instead of dumping all of the users' data into one massive database, Tinder uses geosharding, a method of splitting users into geographical regions or shards. Each shard focuses only on nearby users, making searches lightning fast and precise. But here's where it gets even smarter. Tinder's engineering team tackled one of the toughest challenges with global traffic, balancing it across time zones. Think about it. When users in New York City are swiping during their evening peak hours, users in Tokyo are likely asleep. This creates a natural ebb and flow of activity. Instead of overloading servers during one region's peak, Tinder randomly distributes geosharding and their replicas across physical servers. This ensures when New York hits its peak traffic, the same servers are also hosting quieter regions like Australia at that moment. This randomized shard distribution not only prevents overload, but it also ensures that resources are evenly utilized throughout that day. No idle servers, no downtime, just efficiency at its finest. Tinder's system doesn't just rely on shards. It's built on intricate cluster architecture that ensures reliability and fault tolerance. Let's break this down. First, there are master nodes. These are like the managers of the system. They monitor the health of the cluster, keep track of where all the data lives, and ensure everything stays in sync. Then we have the coordinating nodes, the traffic controllers. When a user searches for matches, the nodes figure out which shards need to be queried and send those requests to the right places. Finally, the data nodes. These are the real workers. They store the actual data and execute search queries. Each shard exists here as either a primary shard or a replica, ensuring there's always backup in case of failure. But managing billions of users' updates daily is no small feat. What happens when users travel or use Tinder's passport feature to swipe in a new city? This is where Apache Kafka comes in, a powerful tool that Tinder uses to keep everything in order. Here's how it works. Every user gets a unique ID, which Kafka uses to send all of their updates to the same partition. This ensures that updates like changing your location are processed in the exact order they happen. For example, if you switch from New York to Paris, then back to New York, Kafka guarantees that those updates don't get jumbled. The result? A perfectly consistent user experience, no matter how much you move around. And let's talk about searches. Tinder's system uses Elasticsearch to store and retrieve data quickly. But there's a catch. Elasticsearch operates in near real time, meaning that there's usually a tiny delay before the data becomes searchable. To fix this, Tinder uses Elasticsearch's GET API, which forces a refresh of the index before retrieving the data. This ensures that every search query reflects the latest updates, whether it's a new swipe or a user moving to a new shard. But what happens if something goes wrong? For example, a shard becomes inconsistent or misses data due to a failure. Tinder's system has a self-healing mechanism that re-indexes data in the background, correcting any issues without disrupting the user experience. Geosharding isn't a set it and forget it solution. Tinder constantly adapts shard sizes based on user density. For example, densely populated areas like New York City require smaller, more granular shards to handle higher activity, while rural areas might use larger shards to cover wide regions. This dynamic approach ensures that every shard strikes the perfect balance between size and efficiency, big enough to hold meaningful matches, but small enough to avoid unnecessary data processing. So what does all this engineering actually accomplish? With geosharding and a careful design cluster architecture, Tinder can now handle 20 times more computations than its old system. Users get matches faster with lower latency, and the app remains reliable, even under massive global traffic.